What's going on, everybody? It's Chris Classic doing another car vlog. I want you guys to know that regardless of what we're going through, God loves you, Christ loves you, and died for us for a chance for salvation. All of these things that we're going through is trials and tribulations. Some of them hurt, some of us break us down, but we will overcome all of them. I love you. Make sure if you need to talk to me, I'm here. Find me on Facebook, Chris Classic Whips, anything. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and also subscribe to me and my wife's pro wrestling company, C3 Ultimate Wrestling, for wrestling matches, wrestling shows, and promos and everything. And check out the website because we're getting ready for our show in January. Press Start 2 in Crown Point, Indiana. Creative freedom is a topic that's a lot of people talk about. Hey, if this person had creative freedom over what they could do for a company, they'd be successful, or you'd understand it and stuff like that. And then when we look at WWE's format, they give people gimmicks most of the time that they're supposed to be, especially Vince before Triple H, pre-Paul. And sometimes it's not accepted. Sometimes it's old, it's corny. What kind of stuff is this? This is dumb. Like, some people don't agree with it. Hey, what are you doing and stuff like that. And then on the AEW side, you can tell obviously that a lot of those guys have creative freedom on the character that they want to portray or the character that they want to be. And sometimes they miss. Hey, why are you doing this? Just because you can, you should want to do something. With a character and character development, you always want to remember that it should be believable, it should be marketable, and it should get a reaction from the crowd. We're living at a time where if you want to be a heel, usually heels are sensitive. I'm not used to seeing sensitive bad guys to where they do their job so good that the crowd boos them, that they go to social media and get upset with the crowd for booing them for doing something that they're supposed to do. I understand it. I don't understand it, but that just shows you how uninvested some of these wrestlers are, to where they talk to people on social media and basically say their feelings get hurt. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a person that overlooks feelings and stuff like that, but when we're portraying something and we talk about something called believability, that's where it's really shine on social media, especially with people who can screenshot and have receipts. But creative freedom is something that people do a good job on, and sometimes people do not. Sometimes you do need help to ask somebody, hey, what character should I portray? What about this? Who should I look up and stuff like that? I think a lot of people think that, because they think they look cool, but it's outside of looking cool. It has to mean something. It has to be a statement and stuff like that. I look at Malachi Black in AEW, formerly Aleister Black in WWE, and I like that he is consistent with his eye situation. Basically lost his eye to Seth Rollins at WWE, and then when he was let go, he was at AEW. He was hot. He was white hot. He was feuding with Cody. They was doing some things and stuff like that, and then his eye just started getting worse and stuff. Hey, you need to go to a doctor to get it checked out. But anyway, he had something by himself, and then a lot of people was like, he needs to be in a faction, he needs to do his faction, he needs people, he needs this and that. A lot of people's already saying Buddy Matthews, that's all people saying, Buddy Matthews, Brody King, a lot of people saying that and stuff like that. So people got what they wanted, and then they got Julia Hart eventually, but then it was just like they was losing a lot. They was getting pinned in multi-people matches and stuff like that. And, they were doing supernatural stuff. Now, this is the thing about supernatural characters, right? It can be done. It has to be done to a certain extent. Supernatural characters have no business wrestling every week because you're going to expose yourself. Supernatural things should come out on special occasions and things like that. You shouldn't be losing every day. You shouldn't be powdering if you have supernatural things. You sell it, you spoon feed it, you teaspoon feed it. You don't tablespoon, you teaspoon. You give people a taste and stuff like that. I think what WWE is doing with Bray's character is good. Doesn't need to wrestle every day. Hopefully he doesn't wrestle every week and stuff like that. Like I said, his strong points is what he says, not how he wrestles. And I'll go to the grave on that, even though I ain't trying to go to the grave anytime soon. but that's just what it is. So then now they lose a lot, and then now Malachi, he's released to take care of personal issues, and then now it's like you already know that Matthews and King, they're going to be in limbo, and Hart as well, unfortunately, and stuff. Hart was racking up wins on Dark because of her affiliation with the House of Black, so I think that she did benefit from it at least. But I'm just saying, like, the thing was, like, it was started being less believable. And then they, Tony doing the lights out thing for Satnam Singh, that took away luster from Malachi Black because nobody else was coming in like that besides Sting and stuff. And then even going against Sting and Darby. And Sting is very old, and I love Sting. He's very old and stuff like that. And losing to them and Darby, and then Great Muta coming out, he's very old too. No disrespect to these legends because I've watched them when I was WCW, still looking at WCW stuff. I'm just saying, you get what I'm saying here. So, if you had a guy that he could talk to, and let's talk about it too. If we were talking about supernatural characters, Undertaker, his character work was great. His body just couldn't keep up because he was just getting old and stuff. Couldn't do matches like he couldn't do certain things, but he tried to. And some matches paid for it, and it wasn't that good, unfortunately. But the thing was, eventually they started making it seem like he was more human than zombie, so he can wince at a move, or he can not get up, or he's hurt, or he's injured and stuff like that. Like, he tried his best to keep the character, because there's not a lot of people that's going to walk up to him and say, oh, you're fake, or you're a wrestler, you're this and that. But he tried, and that's just an investment, and it helped him stay in the main event for also being a good friend of Vince, but also carrying the company when it needed to happen. A lot of people don't get that opportunity, but at the same time, he was invested in it and stuff like that. And then when he had to wrestle, it was short matches if it had to be, unless it was like main event. They did it a great way towards Undertaker, and even Kane at one point. But that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Since we are on the WWE side, we can even talk about Nikki ASH. I'm going to call her Nikki Ash because that's what I call her. A lot of people loved her as Nikki Cross in, was it Sanity? I think that's the name of the group. With Eric Young and Kenny and Dane. And then a lot of other people, well, two other people. And then a lot of people liked that. A lot of people thought that was dope and it was good and stuff. Then, she started, teaming with Alexa Bliss and all that. Then eventually she was Nikki ASH. Now, she had a little pop when she first started as Nikki ASH. And then the thing was, people were interviewing her and she said this was her idea. So I was happy for that because, like I said, a lot of people be like, well, if this person needs creative freedom and blah, 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 here's the opportunity. So she had an opportunity, and then she eventually won the, I believe, the SmackDown Women's Championship. I was like, okay, cool. Well, maybe, I didn't think they would, like, keep the belt on for a long time. A lot of people don't have to win the belt every time. They don't have to have a long reign. I believe in that. Sometimes you're a better challenger or you're a better chaser or a contender than an actual champion. That happens. But eventually, fans started booing her. They started booing her. They thought it was corny. They didn't like it. They thought it was bad and stuff like that. Now, mind you, this is a character that she came up with and stuff like that. Now, I will talk on one standpoint, as I am a, you can say what I do as a superhero as well, right? So I could say that, sometimes they do run stale. They run corny. You have to learn how to continue to make it fresh. And sometimes people do not. I'm going to pray right now because this made it to work. And it goes stale. Hurricane did a great job as the Hurricane until it was time for him to be Shane Helms. And he was the longest reigning cruiserweight champ. So what I'm saying is sometimes just because they have it doesn't mean they know how to use it and it works. And, fans change their minds so quick. One minute they'll like you and then the next minute they won't. So creative freedom is just one of those things to where it's just like, if you have it, ask the best characters in the business if they have time. Find a learning tree and sit under the shade and learn, because it's very important, because sometimes you can embarrass yourself by trying to do something. And then, a lot of wrestlers don't get the green light to do what they want to do as a character and stuff like that. So character work is just very, very important. Now, I talked about Chris Jericho a couple of days ago. about what he does, and I'm like, I don't like a lot of the stuff that he do. Like, to me, as far as creative freedom, dude should be bankrupt because he does three things: Jericho, Appreciation Society, Pain Maker, whatever, and Lionheart. And it's like they're all the same. They all do the same moves, except one of them he wears a hat with paint. Another one he dresses like a boy band, and then the other one he pulls his pants up. His yellow and black pants and stuff like that. It's like it's still the same. It's not like what it's creative freedom, but it's not creatively doing anything. Not for me anyway. No offense to Chris, and I like Chris Jericho, but at the same time, we just got to be honest here. Like, come on, man. Like, you got to do something a little better than that. You know, some things you need charisma, you need machismo, you need certain things. You know, Macho Man with vibrant colors and stuff like that, and the way he talks. You wouldn't think a man would talk like that until you saw Macho Man. You'd be like, okay, well, Macho Man speaks like that. So that's the kind of things like we're creative freedom and stuff like that. It's not for everybody. It's okay, but the thing is, you have to invest in it. Like, if I ask somebody to be something, I expect you to be the best of your ability. Now, that's something me and C Red talked about in What's Wrong with Wrestling Now, is that a lot of people just feel like, oh, if it's not going to make sense, I'm not going to invest in it. And if that happens, why should anybody book you? Very important. Creative control, creative freedom, it is a blessing, but it can be a curse if you do not know how to use it. So like I'm saying, I hope and pray that a lot of these guys who do have it, they learn the business more. And if they do have it, it's good. I like MJF, right? But he's just like an old school wrestler. But he doesn't need to really do anything different because everybody else is doing, I don't want to say stupid, doing stuff that don't stick to the ribs. So he doesn't really do nothing. And I always say, like, a lot of these wrestlers make it easy for people to be different. That's why I'm a classic outfit. But that's not bragging. That's the truth. That's why my wife can be a sensational Shay. That's why you can see a guy named Just Amazing or KO Kendra that can do great. You know, you can see Ruthless Rage, a tag team that is just a sight to see. You can see a lot of great things through character developments. You can see Preston Price. You can see, I don't know that man's name. He changes his name. You can see Jimothy. You can see a lot of things. Hopefully you guys check those wrestlers out for characters and stuff like that. There are some great people. But that's all I wanted to talk about. I'm about to go into work. God bless you guys. This is Chris Classic, and let's take it home.